Hello and welcome to Whispered Legends. I am your storyteller, and I'm thrilled to have you here. Get ready to journey into tales of mystery, adventure, and the unknown. If you love stories that spark your imagination, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a whisper. Now, let's begin today's tale. The sea was a mirror, an endless expanse of blue under the pale light of a crescent moon. As the crew aboard the Valkyrie sailed farther into the uncharted waters, the air grew thick with a strange sense of unease. Captain Alden Harrow stood at the helm, his eyes scanning the horizon, where the endless stretch of water met the sky. For days now, the crew had noticed strange phenomena. The winds whispered in languages they didn't understand, shadows danced across the waters in the moonlight, and the ocean itself seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. "Keep your eyes peeled," Harrow muttered, more to himself than to his crew. The old legends of the Kraken and the Leviathan were never more than stories, but something had changed. The Valkyrie had sailed into the heart of an ancient myth, one that even the bravest men would dare not speak of aloud. As the night deepened, the fog rolled in thick and heavy, turning the sea into an otherworldly expanse. The ship's lanterns cast faint glows against the mist, and the crew moved cautiously, their nervous murmurs rising above the creaking wood. The air tasted salty, but with a strange, metallic tang that made the hairs on the back of their necks stand up. Suddenly, the calm sea was broken by a ripple, then another, followed by an eerie silence. A deep, guttural growl, as though the ocean itself was awakening, vibrated through the ship. The first mate, Dorian, gripped the rail beside the captain, his face pale. "That's no whale," Dorian whispered, his voice trembling. Before Harrow could respond, the water erupted with a violent force. A monstrous tentacle, as thick as the ship's mast, shot up from the depths, crashing onto the deck with the force of a thunderclap. The crew screamed in terror as the massive appendage wrapped around the ship, dragging it sideways with an unnatural power. The wood groaned under the pressure as the crew scrambled to cut the ropes, to release the ship from the Kraken's grasp. But it was no use. The beast, with its gargantuan size and strength, tore through the ship's hull, sending splinters flying. A second tentacle whipped across the deck, knocking men overboard. Captain Harrow shouted orders, but his voice was drowned by the roar of the ocean. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the Kraken retreated into the depths, leaving behind nothing but the mangled wreckage of the Valkyrie and a handful of survivors. The sea was calm once again, though the crew knew better than to trust the tranquility. The Kraken was not done with them. The survivors, battered and broken, clung to the wreckage, drifting through the foggy night. But the horrors they had witnessed were far from over. The very ocean seemed to hold its breath, and in the silence that followed, something far older and far more terrifying began to stir. It was the Leviathan, the true lord of the deep, an ancient force whose existence had been whispered about in hushed tones for centuries. The Kraken, in all its monstrous power, was but an agent of the Leviathan's will. As the survivors drifted helplessly, they felt the ocean shift beneath them, the water growing colder, darker, as if the very depths were reaching up to claim them. A massive shape loomed beneath the waves, its form barely visible in the murky waters. The Leviathan's eyes, glowing faintly with a sickly green light, pierced through the darkness. Its long, serpentine body coiled beneath the water, a twisting mass of scales that shimmered with an iridescent glow. The survivors, too terrified to scream, could only watch as the Leviathan rose from the depths, its massive jaws opening wide, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. The ocean itself seemed to tremble as the beast ascended, its body stretching beyond the horizon. It was said that the Leviathan was the embodiment of chaos, the force that shaped and destroyed the world's oceans. No ship had ever survived its wrath. And on that night, the Valkyrie would be no different. But as the Leviathan's jaws closed in, a strange calm washed over the survivors. They had seen the Kraken, and now they were face to face with the Leviathan itself. It was the end, but not in the way they had expected. The ocean, in all its terror, had shown them its true power. And as the Leviathan disappeared beneath the waves, so too did the survivors, their haunting reflections swallowed by the sea. The sea is never truly still, for it is a mirror to something darker, deeper, and older than any man can comprehend. The Kraken and the Leviathan are but its servants, and the ocean's song is one that will forever echo in the hearts of those who dare to listen.